In this video, I will continue with the Rama Gita from the verse 21. Shri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Namaha. In the last verses, that is in my last video, the summary of the last video is the argument of the Vedanti to say that the karma alone cannot give liberation. Only the jnana, it is swatantra and it alone can give liberation. And there were so many arguments regarding that karma and jnana. Karma must have ego, only then we can do action, and jnana does not need ego. That is one of the main argument, and there were many arguments like this. And karma cannot, they can be go in parallel, but they cannot join together. They are always contradictory. That was the argument by the Vedantis regarding the jnana and karma. And in this verse also, one or two verses it is continued. Let us see from the 21st verse. सातैत्तिरीय श्रुतिरागसादरं न्यासं प्रशस्ता किल कर्मणां स्फुटं ये तावदित्याह च वाजिनां श्रुतिः ज्ञानं विमोक्षाय न कर्म साधनम्. Here it is said that in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it's one of the very famous Upanishads and one among the 10 principal Upanishads for which Sri Adi Shankaracharya has written the Bhashya. And in the Taittiriya Aranyaka, that is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is very clearly said, even the sakama karmas, that should be renounced. Only then a person can get liberation. That is, he has to completely spend his entire time in Atma Vidya. In Taittiriya Upanishad it is said, and it is also said in the Vajasena branch, Shaka of the Veda. That is, Vajasena Shaka means in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also it is said that only the self-knowledge gives liberation, moksha, and not action. So in both these Upanishads, in the Taittiriya Upanishad and in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, both it is said that for moksha, self-knowledge is needed and not action. When the Upanishad itself says like this, then it is the final word. That's the final word in Sanatana Dharma. The next verse, that is the 22nd verse, here also the argument goes, Vidya samatvena tu darshidastvaya kraturna drishtanda udahruda samah phalai prudagvad bahukara kai kratuhu samsadhyate jnanamato viparyayama. Here it is said that you, Purva Paksha, you are the opponent, and you are telling that action and jnana can go together. They are one can support one. But you are keeping, that means you are keeping knowledge and action on the same plate. But you do not have a proper drishtanta, that is a proper example to prove it. You cannot prove it. You do not have a proper drishtanta. Because, and also that it is contrary, it is again argued, because the result of the actions are different. In Karma Kanda, there are so many yagnas are said. Each one gives one result. If you want a job, one particular yagna has to be done and it gives you job. If you want wealth, another. If you want swarga, another. If you want a lot of houses and all that are different. Lordship, different. So, there is no single result for it. But for jnana, jnana gives only one result. Self-knowledge gives only one result, that is moksha. So the results of the actions are different, and the result of the knowledge, jnana, self-knowledge, is one. So how can you equate both this? They are contrary. That's said in this verse. And the next verse, that is the 23rd verse, it is said, Sapratyavayo hyagamithyanatmadihim ajñaprasiddhana tu tattvadarshinaha tasmad buddhistyajyamapi kriyatmabhihim vidhanata karma vidhi prakashitam. Here it is said that the people who are unwise and people who follow a lot of rituals, they feel that I am sinful. I am that a sinful person. That feeling they have if they do even a single wrong thing. Not only that, they have that feeling that I am sinful, that feeling they have. But the people who are wise and who have the spiritual ideas and who have this philosophical ideas, they know that all this is Supreme Brahman. No rights can bind them. So they are one with that Supreme Atma always. So they do not have that fear that I'm sinful, that is felt by some people, but that is not that will not apply for the people who have this Atma Vidya. Yeah, we have experienced this many times. When we do something wrong, that we have that fear that will sin incur me. Even in our daily life, it is a common mistake we do. I will rather say it as a mistake or error, because the people who worship Lord Shiva, they have the fear to worship Lord Vishnu. If Lord Shiva will give me punishment for worshipping Vishnu, and some people who worship Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, they have fear in taking Pratosha Vrata or any sitting for Shivratri, because they have fear that Lord Vishnu will punish him. This is very common among the common public. To worship only one God, or the people who worship the Kuladeva, they have fear in worshipping the other manifestations of God. Whether the Kuladeva will punish me. And even in our homes, we have small puja, small or big, according to their convenience they keep. And we have many pictures of Bhagwan, Vigraha of Bhagwan. And I have seen this very commonly. During the season, that is the season for flowers, in the rainy season, we get lot of flowers. But in the summertime or in the winter time, we may not get that much flowers. So we have the confusion. To which God I must keep this flower? If there are a lot of flowers, no problem. If there are very few flowers, then we have that confusion. To which ideal can I keep this flower? If I keep it for Bhagavan Shiv, will Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna get angry with me and give me sin? So this is all these are said here. It is we have that internal feeling that some sin, am I sinful? That sin will come to me. So all these are preliminary state of understanding the Bhagavan. We have not understood Bhagavan properly, and without that proper understanding, we are continuing to worship. At least that we are doing, it's good. But we must go about this kindergarten level of understanding Bhagavan. We continue praying like this for so many years, and what's more worse is without realizing it, we continue to pray till the end. So we must understand the Lord whom we pray every day or even occasionally. We must understand it and come above this kindergarten level of understanding Bhagavan. This is a very primary level of understanding Bhagavan. One Bhagavan is separate from the other. Of course, the attributes are different, entirely different. The leelas are different. But all these are for a common purpose. So that's what is said here. The person who do not have this Atma Vichara, they will have all this fear. So the unwise people, they have all this fear. But the learned people, that is the wise people, even though the actions are prescribed in the Vedas, they can surpass all this. That is, they can renounce all this and completely concentrate in Atma Vidya. That is said in this verse. And the next two verses goes like this. Here in this verse, what is said is what is jnana? What is knowledge? That is said in this verse, very clearly explained in the 24th verse of Rama Gita. Shraddhan Tat Tvam Asi vakyatah Guru prasadat abhishuddha manasah Vijnaya chaihatmyam athatma jivayoho Sukhin bhaved meruriva prakampanah Sukhin bhavet meruriva aprakampanah. Because one, if we have this Atma Jnana, then one can live happily, stable state of mind like the Meru mountain, so stable. Whatever comes, it will not shake us. How will we get that mentality? Shraddhanvido Tat Tvam Asi iti vakyah. One must have faith in the Tat Tvam Asi Vakya. So what is that Tat Tvam Asi Vakya? The people who are familiar with Vedanta, they will know that Mahavakyas. Tat Tvam Asi is a Mahavakya. Mahavakya means it is just like a formula. In mathematics, we have this formula equation, and with a single formula, we derive pages and pages of mathematics text. Every math student is familiar with it. And Fourier series, Fibonacci series, lot of steps we will do. So it is just like that. Mahavakya is a formula. And Mahavakya will have only three or two padas. One or two or three words. And each Veda has a Mahavakya. The Mahavakya of the Rig Veda comes in the Aitreya Upanishad, and it is Prajnanam Brahma. The Mahavakya of the Atharva Veda, which comes in the Mandukya Upanishad, and that is I am Atma Brahma. That is, this self is Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma means that infinite intelligence, that is Brahman. And the Mahavakya of the Yajurveda comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is Aham Brahmasmi. This is said as the Sishya Mahavakya. The Sishyas should practice this. I am Brahman. And the Mahavakya of the Samaveda, which comes in the Chandogya Upanishad, is this Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. So one should understand the meaning of this Mahavakya, have a faith in this Mahavakya. How will that faith and that understanding of this Mahavakya will come? One and only by the Guru's blessing and the Shuddha Manasaha, purity of mind. Only when we have purity of mind, even the Guru's blessing will apply, or otherwise it will go waste. And the Guru will also not bless a person who doesn't have a purity of mind. So by purity of mind and the blessing of the Guru, one must have realized or have faith in this Mahavakya Tat Tvam Asi, which means you or that, you, the individual being, is that Brahman. So with that, repeating this, contemplating on this, you get the stable firmness of mind, just like the Mount Meru. The next verse, that is the 5th verse is Adau padartha vagadirhi karanam vakyartha vijnana vidau vidhanatah tattvam padartau padamatma jivakau asiti chaikatmyamathana yor bhavet. So To understand the sentence, Tat Tvam Asi is a Vakya, it is a sentence. To understand a sentence, you must understand the meaning of each word, each padam. That is the vidhi. So here, Tat Tvam, both these are two words. Tat Tvam Asi. Actually, in this Vakya, three words, but here two words. Tat Tvam, both these. What is the meaning of it? Tat means that, which implies Paramatma. So Tat means Paramatma. Tvam means you, which implies the Jiva. So Tat means Paramatma, Tvam means Jiva. Asi, this Vakya, it joins this Paramatma and Jiva. It is the combining word. Tat. Asi means actually is, or are. You are that. So that Paramatma is that Jiva. You are that. You, the Jiva, is that Paramatma. So that's the meaning of the word Vakya Tat Tvam Asi. It comes in the Chandogya Upanishad of Samaveda. And the next verse, that is the 26th verse, goes like this. प्रत्यक् परोक्षादिविरोधमात्मनोः विहाय सङ्गृह्यतयोचिदात्मतां संशेदितां लक्षणया च लक्षितां ज्ञात्वा स्वमात्मानमधाद्वयो भवेत्. So when we say that you are that Brahman, you are that Paramatma, we all are confused. How can I be Paramatma? Because I know what are my impurities, I know what are my thoughts, I know what all I have in my mind. How can I be Paramatma? Paramatma is so pure, Shuddha, it is infinite, and I cannot even think of infinity. So how can I be Paramatma? That thought everyone will have. For that answer is given here. Lord Sri Rama says, you have to discard the external differences. That direct meaning you should not take. Or otherwise, I will think that Paramatma is like me. No, Paramatma doesn't have a form in the first place. So that is a wrong meaning. That direct meaning, that pratyaksha, that direct with the sense organs, what we say, that meaning should be discarded. That meaning should be vihaya, that meaning should be cast off. And the core meaning, which is the spiritual meaning, has to be considered. That core spiritual meaning has to be considered. Only then the true meaning of this Vakya we will understand. So only then the unity we can understand, or otherwise we will mistake about it and leave it there itself. How can I be Paramatma? Like that we will leave it out. So the core meaning has to be taken, and how it has to be taken, that Lord Sri Rama explains from the next verse. That is the 27th verse, goes like this. येहात्मगद्वा जहदीन संभवेत् तदा जहल्लक्षणता विरोधतः सोऽयं पदार्थाविभागलक्षणा युज्येद तत्त्वपदयोरदोषतः. So in this verse, one or two, I think three Vedanta terms are introduced in this word. In this verse, that is, the first is the Jahati Lakshana. Lakshana means description. So in Vedanta, there are different Lakshanas said. So here Jahati Lakshana. Jahati Lakshana means you should not take the direct meaning. You should consider the secondary meaning, not the primary meaning, the secondary meaning. That is, what is the secondary meaning? For example, if I say, my house is on the Ganga, on the river Ganga, my house is on river Ganga. So what you will think? My house is built on river Ganga, so it must be a houseboat or something with any new technology. I would have built a house on the river Ganga. But that is wrong. What I mean by that is, My house is on the banks of river Ganga. So here the direct meaning has to be discarded and the secondary meaning has to be considered. So that is one lakshana. Another lakshana is ajaha lakshana. Ajaha lakshana means the primary meaning should be considered, not the secondary meaning. So if for the example for this is, if I say the flowers are coming inside my room and so I have a very good refreshing fragrance. So does the flowers have legs to walk? No. But what I mean by that is some person, my assistant or someone is bringing flowers inside my room and so I get a good fragrance. So here the primary meaning is taken but in a different way. So can both these lakshanas be applied to this Vakya Tat Tvam Asi? Cannot. When the Muni says you are that, he doesn't take the secondary meaning. He said the direct meaning only. But the primary meaning also cannot be taken because it doesn't, we cannot compare ourselves with Paramatma otherwise. So how can we compare it? When the Muni says it is the truth. So how can we combine it? So here the another lakshana comes, that is the bhaga tyaga lakshana. That is the portion of the description has to be discarded. How is it possible? Suppose, let us imagine I have many friends and one of my friend is very dear to me and I always play with her when I was so young, 4 or 5 years. But due to some reason she has gone to a far away place. And now she has come back again to visit me after all these years, so much of years gap. So now I say, oh, you are that person. I can't just believe you are that person. Because why I say this, did I identify? Of course, both our physical gross bodies have changed a lot. I saw her when she was too young. We both met when we were too young. Now we have grown up. So how can we compare that? So that physical comparison is left. Bhagat Tyaga, a portion is left. And now I can understand her from her nature, from her guna, from how she identified me with my way of behavior. So that core thing is compared. And that is right, that is the comparison here. So you are that person. Just like that, here only Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana can be applied. All the external attributes has to be discarded. Outer attributes has to be discarded and the core being, the spirit, that Atma is compared. And that Atma is I, the self. So you are that. This is the Guru Vakya. The Guru will only say you are that. A Sishya cannot practice it. You are that, you are that. Then it will become an external thing. The Sishya has to practice Aham Brahmasmi. But this is a Guru Vakya. You are that. So here only the Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana can be applied. And that's what is said in this verse. Soyam, you are that padartha viva bhaga lakshana, yujeta. That will only work, that will only connect. And understanding the meaning of, by applying the bhagatyaga lakshana, one should understand the meaning of Tat Tvam Asi. And in the next verse, that is the 28th verse, Sri Rama says, रसादि पंचीकृत भूत संभवं भोगालयं दुःख सुखादि कर्मणां शरीरमद्यन्तवधादि कर्मजं मायामयं स्थूलमुपाधिमात्मनः. Here what Sri Rama says is, this body is emerged out of Prithvi. And here another Vedantic word is used, that is the Panchikrita. So what is Panchikrita? Before becoming the five elements, before becoming this gross, they underwent a process of panchikarana. And the process of panchikarana is, before becoming gross, they were so subtle. So the subtle elements divided themselves into five portions and they mixed with each other. How did they divide? That is, half of that subtle element combined with the other 1 by 8 portion of all the other four elements. For example, half of the Sukshma Akasha combined with 1 by 8 portion of the Sukshma Vayu, 1 by 8 portion of the Sukshma Agni, 1 by 8 portion of the Sukshma Apaha water, 1 by 8th portion of the Sukshma Prithvi, and the subtle Akasha, by undergoing this mixture became the gross Akasha. Like this, half the portion of Sukshma Agni combined with 1 by 8th portion of the Sukshma Akasha, 1 by 8 portion of the Sukshma Vayu, 1 by 8 portion of the Sukshma Apa water, 1 by 8 portion of the Sukshma Prithvi, and the subtle Sukshma Agni became the Stula Agni. That's what we are seeing as Agni, fire. So like this, all the Sukshma elements underwent this process of Panchikritam and they became gross. And again, these gross elements, according to our Purva Karma, mixed together, and that's how this Sharira, external body, this gross body, this physical body was born. So that is said here. By this body, it is the means for all our sukha and dukkha. Actually, it is the mind that experiences everything. But through the body, the mind experiences. If someone hurts us, we hear that words. Does the ear pain? No. If only dukkha overcomes us. Someone praises us. Will the ear be happy? No, it is the mind that experiences it. So this body is the medium for all our experiences of the mind, and the mind experiences it according to our Purva Karmas. Even when we have a wound in our body, when we sleep, we will not feel that pain. So it's very well understood that it is the mind that experiences through the body. And that's what is said in this verse. Rasadi Panchikrita Bhuta Sambhavam. That's how this body is formed. For Dukkha and Sukha, this is the experience. Sharira Madhyanda Vadadi Karmajam. According to our karmas, this body is formed. Sharira Madhyanda. This Sharira has a beginning and an end. Maya Mayam. That is because of Mayam. Stula Mubhadi Matmanaha. So this Stula Sharira, this external body, is the one Upadhi that has to be discarded. This is the first external coating of the self that is to be discarded. So what all should be discarded to Bhagatyaga Lakshana? Something has to be discarded to find the core meaning. So this is the first thing to be discarded, our external body. Now the next verse, that is the 29th verse, says, Sukshmam mano buddhi dashendriyairyutam pranaira panchikrita bhuda sambhavam bhoktu sukhaderanusādhanam bhaved shariramanyad viduratmano budhaha. So here the Sukshma Sarira is explained. The Sukshma Sharira is otherwise known as the subtle body. It is also known as the Linga Sharira, and in English it is known as the astral body. So what is this Sukshma Sharira? The Sukshma Sharira has the Sukshma concept of the five organs of knowledge, the Sukshma concept of the 5 organs of action, the Sukshma concept of the 5 pranas, mind, manas, and intellect, buddhi. They form the Sukshma Sharira. And this Sukshma Sharira has all our experiences. And it is the Sukshma Sharira. Because of this, we do our karma, we think, and everything we do. So that is the Sukshma Sharira. And here, apanchikrita, here it is so sukshma. Sukshma means subtle. It is sukshma, so here the panchikrita does not apply because panchikrita is only for the gross bodies, gross elements. Here the sukshma of the 5 elements is mixed. The sukshma concept, that is, here there is no panchikrita, apanchikrita. It does not go, the elements do not go under the panchikrita process. The sukshma concept is taken. Bhoktu sukhade anusadhanam bhavet. Because of this sukshma sarira, we have all the experiences. It is the experiences of all our karmas. Sharira madhyanta viduratmano bhavet. Through the sharira, the sharira is the medium by which we have all these experiences, and that's the wise understand. So this is the second body that has to be discarded. Only then we can come to the core meaning of Tat Tvam Asi. For the Tat Tvam Asi, many things has to be discarded. The core meaning has to be taken, or otherwise we will not understand the meaning. First, the Stula Sharira, that has to be, the gross body has to be discarded, and now the Sukshma Sharira also has to be discarded. Anadya nirvachyamapiha karanam maya pradhanam tu param sharirakam ubhadi bedhatu yata prudag sthitham swatmanam atmanyabadharayet kramat. So here the next body that has to be discarded is said, the causal body, which is the cause for our janma itself, our birth. The causal body, it has the mula ajnanam, that is the base or basic of this ignorance. It has the base of this ignorance. This ignorance, avidya, is common for all of us, all beings. That avidya is, I do not know myself. That is the avidya. It is common. Apart from it, this causal body has many desires. That is not common. We all have unique desires. Your desire may not be the same like my desire. So that is not common, that is unique. And these desires, they form a part of the causal body as well as the subtle body. But the basic ignorance is in the causal body. This causal body, because of its ignorance, we have that feeling of I consciousness. Because of avidya, we all feel that I am different from that infinite Brahman. So that is said here. So when the microcosm, that is the individual self, when it has to be connected with the macrocosm, that is the infinite consciousness, all these have to be discarded. And this is causal body, karana sharira, and all the basic impressions of our prarabdha karma are present in that causal body. Because of that, we get this body, and that has to be discarded. And after discarding all this, upadhi bedatu yata pradak sthitam, a wise person has to know that he, the self, that he is, that is the self, is different from all these bodies. A wise person should understand it. I am different. I am the self, is different from all these bodies. That self is different from all these bodies. So we have to discard all these bodies. Now the pure self comes up. And that self This has to be compared with the Paramatma. Now we can compare very easily. Swatmana matmanyava dharayed kramat. One by one. We cannot just like that ignore everything. Gradually, by knowledge, kramat, order by order, we have to discard one by one. First we have to discard the Sharira, Sthula Shariras. Discarding means what we means we have to detach from it. We must understand it. That's all we have to do. We cannot discard or throw off our Shariras. Then we will not be there. What the Lord Brahma is telling is it's only a basic understanding. That's what discarding means. Swatmana matmanyava dharayet kramat. By order, one should negate all these three bodies and one should understand that I am that self. Now the Vakya of the Guru is true. You are that. That self is the Paramatma. So that's what explained in this 30th verse. And I think I can take a break and I can continue with the rest of the shlokas of Rama Gita in my next video. Om Shri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Namaha.